Today, we come together in a heartfelt space to celebrate the lives, legacies, and treasured memories of remarkable personalities we've recently lost. We pause to honor their incredible journeys and the inspiration they continue to share with the world. Along with these tributes, we'll also reflect on WWE stars who are going through challenges, gathering love, prayers, and Scott Hall, born October 20th, 1958, in St. Petersburg, Florida, became one of pro wrestling's most magnetic and influential figures. Fans were first drawn to him as Razor Ramon in the WWF, where his cool swagger, distinctive accent, and undeniable presence helped him win multiple Intercontinental Championships and turn him into a standout star. But Hall's biggest impact came in 1996, when he and Kevin Nash jumped to WCW and helped create the New World Order. Their arrival kicked off one of the most exciting eras in wrestling history, the Monday Night Wars, changing the industry's tone, style, and storytelling forever. Hall's charisma was a huge part of why the NWO became a cultural phenomenon. Behind the scenes, though, Hall struggled with serious substance abuse issues. The pressures of fame, injuries, and the demands of the business took a heavy toll, leading to years of personal battles and multiple stays in rehab. His story took a hopeful turn in the 2010s when his close friend Diamond Dallas Page stepped in, helping him get sober and rebuild his life. That chapter of recovery became an inspiration to many who saw him, not just as a wrestling legend, but as someone fighting hard to reclaim himself. Scott Hall passed away on March 14, 2022, at 63, after complications from hip surgery led to multiple heart attacks. His death hit fans and fellow wrestlers deeply, including his son, Cody, today. Hall's legacy lives on, not only through his iconic moments in the ring, but through the lasting impact he had on the industry and those he inspired. Along the way, Tim Arson, born December 27, 1976, was an American professional wrestler whose passion and energy made a lasting impression on fans and fellow performers alike. Best known by his ring name, Tim Arson, he carved out a meaningful career both in the mainland U.S. and in Puerto Rico, where he became a familiar face in promotions like New Wrestling Stars and the World Wrestling Council. His journey began under the guidance of former WWF star Johnny Rodz, whose training helped shape Arson's rugged, charismatic in-ring style. Arson made his debut in 2001, starting out on northeastern independent circuits such as USA Pro Wrestling. Early in his career, he joined the Canadian Impact Alliance, a move that helped elevate his profile. He quickly found success, capturing the USAPW United States Championship as well as the New York Championship in a four-way match on October 20th, 2001. Though he dropped both titles to Kid Cruel the following week, the run marked him as a rising talent with real momentum. He continued to build his name in the independent scene, competing in memorable matches like a 2003 Gauntlet bout, where he took down Popalicious and Live Wire. Arson also appeared in Mikey Whipwreck's New York Wrestling Connection, taking part in fast-paced, high-stakes matches that showcased his adaptability. In 2006, Arson reached a wider audience when he appeared as The Zombie on the debut episode of WWE's ECW on Sci-Fi, a short but unforgettable performance that earned him cult favorite status. Tragically, Tim Arson passed away at just 38. Though his career was cut short, his dedication, personality, and impact on the wrestling world continue to be remembered with genuine affection. Buddy Rogers, born Herman Road Jr. on February 20th, 1921 in Camden, New Jersey, was one of the true trailblazers of professional wrestling. Long before Ric Flair ever strutted into an arena, Rogers proudly carried the nickname the Nature Boy, pairing it with a swagger and charisma that fans had never seen before. His blend of technical skill, confidence, and showmanship made him one of the sport's earliest major stars. And in 1961, he cemented his place in wrestling history by becoming the first WWE World Heavyweight Champion. After defeating Pat O'Connor, Rogers excelled as a brash heel, relishing the boos as much as the cheers. His flamboyant robes, signature strut, and ability to provoke the crowd helped define what it meant to be a wrestling villain. While he stepped away from full-time competition in the 1970s, Rogers never truly left the business. He spent his later years guiding younger talent, sharing his experience, and making occasional appearances that reminded fans why he once ruled the ring. Unfortunately, his final years were marked by health struggles, including a stroke that significantly affected his well-being. On June 26, 1992, Buddy Rogers passed away due to complications from another stroke, closing the chapter on a remarkable life and career. His death was felt deeply throughout the wrestling community, as many recognized how much of today's sports entertainment style he helped shape. Rogers' influence still echoes through the generations he inspired. Ric Flair often credited him as a major inspiration, and countless performers have borrowed elements of Rogers' bravado and in-ring psychology. Decades after his passing, Buddy Rogers remains an essential figure in wrestling history, an innovator whose impact continues to shape the sport's personality and spectacle. David Von Erich, born July 22, 1958, was one of the brightest stars of the famed Von Erich wrestling family, a Texas dynasty that helped define an entire era of professional wrestling. Tall at 6 feet 7 inches and built like a natural athlete, David carried an unmistakable presence in the ring. Known as the Yellow Rose of Texas, he blended technical skill, charisma, and heart in a way that instantly connected with fans. In the early 1980s, David became a cornerstone of world-class championship wrestling, WCCW, in Dallas. The promotion was booming, and David, along with his brothers, was at the center of its rise. His ability to tell a story through his matches made him stand out, and crowds rallied behind him with genuine admiration. One of the defining chapters of his career was his legendary feud with the fabulous Freebirds, a rivalry still celebrated today for its drama, passion, and lasting impact on wrestling storytelling. Many believed David was destined for even greater heights. Within the wrestling community, he was widely considered a future NWA World Heavyweight Champion, viewed as the natural heir to the title thanks to his skill, work ethic, and star power. Tragically, David's life was cut short in 1984 when he passed away at just 25 while touring in Japan, officially due to acute enteritis. His death remains a topic of lore and unanswered questions among fans. But his legacy is unquestioned. Today, David Von Erich is remembered not only as a gifted wrestler, but as a symbol of Texas wrestling's golden age, an athlete whose passion and connection with fans continue to resonate decades later. Ronnie Aaron Killings, known to millions around the world as R-Truth, stands as one of the most unique, versatile, and beloved performers in the history of professional wrestling. Born on January 19, 1972, in Charlotte, North Carolina, R-Truth carved a path that defied expectations, blending athleticism, charisma, comedic timing, and musical talent in a way few artists ever achieve. At 1.85 meters tall and weighing around 99.8 kilograms, he has always cut an impressive figure, but it's the humanity behind the performer that made him unforgettable. Throughout his decades in wrestling, Killings built a reputation not only as a reliable entertainer, but as a warm, grounded individual who connected with fans on a deeper emotional level. That connection has helped him remain relevant long after many of his peers stepped away from the ring. But even as he continues to perform on WWE's SmackDown brand, a cloud of uncertainty hangs over his future, fueled by injuries, age, backstage speculation, and the shifting business landscape within WWE. In many ways, R-Truth stands today at a crossroads, one defined not only by his body's natural limits, but by the complex question of what wrestling owes its veterans and how an industry built on spectacle handles the reality of aging performers. A trailblazer who opened doors for others. To understand the significance of R-Truth's complicated present, one must appreciate the extraordinary path he traveled. Before returning to WWE and cementing himself as one of the company's funniest and most charming characters, Killings broke major barriers. During his time with Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, TNA, he became one of the first black wrestlers to win the prestigious NWA World Heavyweight Championship, a landmark moment that challenged stereotypes and opened doors for generations of African-American wrestlers who followed. In an industry often criticized for limited representation at the top, Killings' achievement was no small feat. It was a message that talent, dedication, and creativity transcend race when given a fair chance to shine. When he returned to WWE, he found his niche not as a traditional powerhouse or a brooding anti-hero, but as a comedic force of nature. He took segments that might have been forgettable throwaway content and turned them into viral magic. His chemistry with stars like The Miz, Carmella, and even his fictional friend Little Jimmy showcased his creativity in a way that very few performers could replicate. And of course, his historic run with the WWE 24/7 Championship, racking up more than 50 reigns, became a weekly thrill ride for fans who tuned in just to see what the ever-unpredictable R-Truth would do next. Yet behind the laughter, his career reflects resilience, adaptability, and a quiet determination to keep evolving in an industry that often leaves aging talent behind. The physical toll. Injuries that changed. His trajectory, even the brightest careers, come with physical consequences, and for R-Truth, the past few years have been particularly challenging. In late 2022, he suffered a severe quadriceps tear during a match with Grayson Waller on NXT, an injury especially serious for athletes of any age, but even more daunting for someone in his early 50s. A torn quadriceps requires extensive rehabilitation, often involving surgery, months of immobility, and grueling physical therapy. Recovery can take a year or longer, and even then, many performers never regain the same explosive movement or flexibility they once had. When R-Truth returned to WWE programming in late 2023, fans were thrilled to see his familiar smile and energy, but some observers noticed that he wasn't quite the same physically. The spring in his step, the rapid motions, the effortless agility, all hallmarks of his earlier work, appeared somewhat diminished. This is not unusual. The body simply changes with age, and injuries leave marks that don't always fully heal. WWE seemed to recognize this, gradually shifting him away from physically intense matches and increasingly positioning him in comedy skits, backstage interactions, and lighter-duty appearances. While this allowed him to remain a consistent presence on television, it also signaled that the company may have been quietly re-evaluating his role, concerned about protecting his long-term health. For R-Truth, the injury wasn't just a physical setback. It became a turning point that raised difficult questions about longevity, safety, and what kind of performer he could realistically be moving forward. Rumblings, concerns, and the weight of uncertainty. As 2025 unfolded, backstage conversations and online reports began circulating about R-Truth's future with WWE. With the company undergoing massive corporate restructuring following its merger with UFC under TKO Group Holdings, the wrestling world braced for the possibility of talent cuts. Historically, when WWE makes large-scale business adjustments, veteran performers, especially those on higher contracts who are not competing regularly in the ring, sometimes find themselves vulnerable. Rumors began swirling that R-Truth's contract might be approaching its expiration date in mid-2025. Some suggested WWE might not renew him as an active wrestler, instead offering a Legends contract, which would keep him associated with the company but remove him from regular in-ring duties. A Legends deal is often seen as an honor, a formal recognition of a performer's contributions. Yet for someone like R-Truth, who remained passionate about performing and still believed he had more to give in the ring, such a shift might feel bittersweet, a sign that the company valued his history, but not necessarily his future as an active entertainer. Adding to the tension were whispers about his financial stability, as longtime wrestlers often rely heavily on their WWE contracts to maintain a secure livelihood. While there is no evidence of financial crisis, fans speculated that major changes to his contract could alter his income significantly at a time in life when financial security becomes increasingly important. In interviews, R-Truth attempted to quell the speculation. In a March 2025 appearance on the Out of Character podcast, he expressed his desire to continue wrestling as long as the people still want to see me act a fool out there, suggesting he hadn't lost the fire or the joy for performing. Yet he also hinted at big plans for later in the year, vague comments that only fueled more questions than answers. Was WWE preparing one final storyline for him? A retirement angle? A comedic reinvention? Or was R-Truth simply holding on to hope as the ground shifted beneath him? Fans caught between celebration and worry. The wrestling community reacted to these rumors with a mix of loyalty, nostalgia, and unease. On social media platforms and wrestling forums, fans passionately debated what WWE should do with R-Truth. Many argued that after decades of entertainment, he deserved a proper farewell storyline, not an abrupt disappearance or backstage demotion. They envisioned a "Thank You, R-Truth" farewell tour, a celebratory run that would honor both his comedic brilliance and his legitimate athletic contributions. Some felt he deserved a special match at a major event like WrestleMania or SummerSlam, something emotional and fitting for a performer who gave so much joy to fans around the world. However, others took a more cautious perspective. They worried that continuing to put R-Truth in physical situations could risk worsening his injuries or compromising his long-term health. They pointed out that WWE's reliance on using him strictly for comedy might overshadow the serious, groundbreaking moments of his career, moments that younger audiences may not even be aware of. This tension between honoring the entertainer and protecting the man reflects a broader issue within professional wrestling. How does the industry balance showmanship with compassion? How does it ensure that aging performers are respected not only for their past work, but for their ongoing well-being? A storyline of confusion, comedy, and missed opportunities. One of the most intriguing developments in R-Truth's recent career involved his interactions with the heel faction, the Judgment Day. In early 2025, WWE crafted a storyline where R-Truth hilariously convinced himself that he was a member of the group, much to the annoyance of its actual members. The result was a mix of comedy, tension, and surprise attacks. A blend that, while funny, also had underlying emotional potential. Some insiders speculated that WWE was testing deeper waters. Perhaps the company was exploring whether R-Truth could be repositioned in a more serious way, using the angle as a gateway for one final meaningful feud that blended comedy with heart, leading to a dramatic, emotionally charged conclusion to his career. Fans picked up on this possibility too. They envisioned a payoff where R-Truth, after months of comedic confusion, would finally snap into a serious mindset and challenge one of the Judgment Day members to a heartfelt final battle, a moment that would honor the depth of his career. But by April 2025, the storyline seemed to fizzle without a clear direction. No major push materialized. No emotional buildup followed. The angle remained amusing, but unfulfilled. In many ways, it mirrored the uncertainty surrounding his real-life career, full of possibilities, but clouded by indecision. The road ahead, a career worth honoring. No matter what happens next, one truth remains undeniable. R-Truth has earned his place in the WWE Hall of Fame. Many speculate he could be inducted as soon as 2026, and few would question the decision. His career reflects versatility, commitment, and a rare ability to connect across generations. He broke barriers in TNA. He reinvented himself in WWE. He entertained millions with a blend of music, comedy, and athleticism that no one else could replicate. Yet for all the accolades he deserves, the most important chapter may still be unwritten. Fans hope WWE gives him a final run or storyline that feels meaningful. Something that honors not only the laughs he provided, but the resilience he showed through injuries, rumors, and an ever-changing industry. They hope his future brings stability, financial comfort, and peace of mind, whether he chooses to wrestle, perform in comedic segments, shift to backstage roles, or explore new opportunities outside the ring. R-Truth's story has always been one of survival, reinvention, and heart. And if wrestling has taught us anything, it's that even when the future feels uncertain, the most powerful moments often come when least expected. For now, fans wait with gratitude, hope, and a deep sense of appreciation. Because no matter what comes next, R-Truth has already secured his legacy as one of professional wrestling's most genuine and enduring treasures.